So tell me if my microphone is working. I've never tried it with this tablet and this microphone before, so I don't know if that is going to work. But today we are making some parts on the Tormach. I'm working on getting the Haas set up, but I have like a bunch of subtasks that I need to do before I can get the Haas running. So I'm going to be going through those subtasks now. The Tormach, well, also I'm still sick, so I apologize for coughing. The Tormach is just running soft jaws right now. I need these for a different job that I'm working on, not the one that I'm working on setting up on the Haas. But this is what the Tormach's running. So this is the op1, just plain old normal soft jaws. My program's probably a little bit slow and non-optimized because I have it set up to be very easy to set up. It's only two tools, a 1/2-inch end mill and then a chamfer tool. And it does some in-process probing too. But because of that, they run a little bit slow, but they come out pretty well. And it's like, I never need to do anything special to set up the mill. I basically just put the part on it and hit go. And as long as the vise is on there, I can make these. So it's a very low lift. But because I have some time today, I decided to run a bunch of them, or at least a somewhat reasonable number of them, I'm hoping. So I'm not going to waste all day on it, but I'm going to run, I don't know, as many as I reasonably can without wasting the entire day on a non-profit making exercise. Ooh, I should be able to pull up chat. Why can't I see chat right now? I'm going to try to avoid using the air gun while I'm on live with you guys, because I know that'll blow out some eardrums. I can tell you that from editing. All right, so can it go there? It's going to probe that in. All right, let me see if I can pull up chat. Chat, hello? Has nobody chatted yet, or can I not see chat? Live chat. I might need to pull it up on my phone. Oh, hey, look. Maybe I just got the first chat. Not using the air gun is kind. Yeah, they're loud, aren't they? This is why one of the reasons why I wear headphones all the time. I can see you guys now. Can you hear me okay? Does it sound like the sound is coming through this thing? Or is it like trying to go through the microphone on my tablet that I'm using to record? All right, what was I doing? Saw. Nothing happened. Hey, Lone Wolf Precision, how you doing? Hi, Fidget Things. Fidget Things, when you say yeah, I assume you mean that my mic is working. Cool. Hi, Jeff. Stop that. Stop that. The tablet, using the tablet stand maybe isn't the best device that I could use to record this. This was kind of a whim and I didn't really prepare for it. So it's whatever. Unfortunately, the auto-ness on my auto saw is broken right now. I need to replace a sensor. So I'm just doing this the old-fashioned way and measuring them and marking them out. These are obviously just the blanks for the soft jaws that I'm making. And then after this, we'll get to some yak shaving, which means, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term, but like shaving yaks is like you need to do a thing, but to do that thing, you have to like do another thing to do the thing. And to do that thing, you need to do another thing to do that thing. And it just snowballs forever until you find yourself like in Tibet shaving yaks. And that's basically what today is going to be for me. All right, so where can I put you guys? Strophy 2, how is the Tormach doing? It's doing great. It just runs. Ooh, here, do you want to do some measurements? I don't remember what size these soft jaws are supposed to be. But I've done zero wear comp or anything. Where'd that mic go? I'm just curious. I wish you would stop showing or stop hiding my chat. All right. So 2-inch mic. Hi, Ad Hoc from Australia. You down there hanging out with, oh, I've already forgotten his name. They're not an engineer guy. Okay, so these are supposed to be 1.95 and I'm measuring 1.9499 on the mics. So a 10th under with no wear comp or anything. So yeah, Tormach's pretty good. I'm happy with it. It just kind of works. It's awesome. I haven't really had to mess with it or think about it too much, except for managing coolant and tools. So I have been very happy with that. Sorry, that was speaking of side quests. All right. Main side quest. What if I put you guys on a stool? Can we put you guys on a stool? So, okay, side quest number 1 is soft jaws. That one's pretty much just kind of, that still doesn't work. You guys need to be tilted. Side quest number 1 is soft jaws, and that's just kind of running at this point. Side quest number 2 is get the laser running, because I'm running a repeat job right now that I've done before. And the way that I have done this job before uses some laser cut blanks that I then machine. So we need to get the laser set up. The hoses we got set up the other day. And by we, I mean my dad did it when I was sick. So thank you, father of mine. But that was kind of the big thing that that was the gate that prevented me from putting the rest of the laser together. And now we need to put the rest of the laser together. And by put it together, I mean hook up the computer. So shouldn't be that difficult. We need to decide where to put this, the table. Probably on this side of the laser, so you guys can't see. I think makes the most sense. This laser hasn't been set up since I first put the Tormach in here. It's like the last remaining remnant of that machine install and move. I do use it, but mostly for packaging and occasionally for prepping blanks. So the actual parts I'm gonna try to make today, they're made out of this mirrored acrylic. I promise you it's actually a mirror. There's a protective plastic on it. And I found the easiest way to prep it is just to throw it in the laser cutter. So, but to do that, I need to get the laser cutter running. I found that if you saw cut it, you can get little flakes off the back, which is probably fine because my parts are small and are going to be in away from the edges, but it's time to get the laser up and running. I'm going to see if I can get my phone to look at chat because it keeps hiding it for me and I know I'm missing stuff from you guys. But I've lost my phone. So hold tight for a second. And again, I'm still recovering from being sick, so I'm going to cough at you guys a lot. I hope that doesn't offend you too much. I've lost my phone. Where is my phone? Okay, never mind. No phone for me. What we do need to do is run back to the mill because it needs more parts fed to it. Again, I'm still not going to use the air gun while I'm talking to you guys because I don't want to deafen you. I've edited enough of my own videos to know that that kind of sucks, but we'll just shake that off. Sorry, I'm not going to give you my number on YouTube. I don't particularly hide too much of my information. If you've ordered something from me, you probably have my address, which may have been a mistake, but it is what it is. But no doxing myself today. Is it in my jacket? That would be. No. Is it at my desk? There it is. Desk. Phone. Okay. Back to the laser. I'm actually running out of parts. The Tormach is cutting them faster than I'm cutting them. I guess there's 4 in there. Whatever. All right, back on the floor. Sorry if that disconnected for a second. I definitely need a better way of recording this with you guys. I don't know. This might be my last cut or two here. I should probably call it good. I want to save some of this material in case I have like some custom ones I needed. Like I needed some 7-inch ones the other day. And if I don't save some of it for stuff like that, then I'll have to go buy a new bar instead of just, you know, pulling it off the shelf and making it. So we'll call that the last one. Let's see, there's... Lone Wolf Precision, what's your preference on headphones? Your Beats noise canceling crapped out, and I'm looking at some ISO tunes. I have still been trying to find the perfect pair of headphones. I have considered making them. That was almost a product that I considered. Well, it was a product that I considered. It's almost one that I did. All right, 5 blanks there. These are Sony WMXs, whatever the like $300 pair is. And they are being held together with tape on that side. But other than that, they've survived pretty well. So maybe on these, I don't really have a good answer because I haven't found anything I am truly happy with. All right, 5 blanks, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need to cut one more blank and then I'll have 8 pairs. Hi. From Poland, sorry, I'm not gonna try to say your name. Have I seen Xometry's new QMS requirements? Do I have one? Yes, I already have one. Mine is a simplified version of their QMS in a box, plus some of my own stuff. So the key on QMSs is to not overcomplicate them too much and to make them something that you will actually follow. So mine is basically kind of all the normal stuff. I calibrate my, let me phrase that. I test the calibration of my tools once a week on just a gauge block and record that. All of my tools, all of my measurement tools have their own serial numbers. This is a terrible example because this is my least favorite tool, but see, even my height gauge there, this is height gauge 6-1. So that means it's a 6-inch height gauge, number 1. All of my calipers and micrometers, they all have a similar serial number where it's like a description of what it is plus the number of what tool it is. So I have like 2 4-inch pairs of calipers. So those are like C4-1 and C4-2. I'm trying to remember what else is in that QMS. It's basically just like how to handle parts that you screwed up and stuff like that. I don't remember everything that's included in there, but yes, I have a QMS. I have since I started Xometry. Am I super, super good at maintaining it? Not really. That is something that I need to get better at, especially as I make parts for fancier and fancier companies that require, you know, more process behind the parts. All right. So back to setting up the laser. There's the computer that needs to be hooked up with 2 keyboards, apparently. And there's also like some power stuff and then the airline. The computer normally lives underneath the table. Oh, you're too far away to read. They only ever audit your QMS once. Okay, that's good to know, but I think they would audit it when you go up a tier of partner, which I have not done yet, unfortunately, and probably audit it when you join. I think I'm grandfathered in, so I don't know if they're ever going to look at it unless like I have a bunch of screw ups or something. But it's good to have, like, don't build a QMS for Xometry, build a QMS for yourself. Yes, for every tier they audit it, yeah. All right, I'm gonna try to pull up the live stream on my phone. All right, can I see chat? Yeah, I got chat here now, that's better. Also, I have my headphones on and nothing is playing through them because that would make it a lot more difficult to talk to you guys. Okay, when I look at the live stream on my phone, I'm awfully squished. Is that true for you guys too, or is that just my phone being weird? It's like the aspect ratio for my camera is wrong. Huh, it looks fine on my tablet, but it's like, my tablet is, it's a weird aspect ratio. It's like 8:10 or 9:10 or something like that. 5:3. Where's the computer gonna live? Maybe the computer will just live underneath the monitor. I used to have more room underneath here. Yes, I'm squished, even on a PC. I don't know how to fix that. I think it's my tablet being weird. What if I turn the camera around and then turn it back? I look fine on this thing. Look, there's this side of my workbench. Am I different now? Am I different? No, I still look squished. Well, I think I'm just gonna be squished. As long as audio's good, it's fine. Ad hoc, you say I look normal? Interesting. I wonder, are you on like an iPhone? I'm on an Android. All right. Is this really where I want to put it? I used to have this thing on, no, I don't want to put it here. I used to have it sitting on a milk crate, probably this milk crate, underneath the laser. Have they ever said anything about me showing in-process parts? Once, where I did accidentally, well, okay, it wasn't an accident. I got a little too brazen about showing Xometry parts. For the most part, I do not show anything Xometry ever on social media. What I do is I will take a Xometry part and I will change the design so it doesn't look enough like the Xometry part to violate any NDAs. But it's still close enough where I can like test out my tool paths. And I will show that like setup part on my YouTube videos before changing to running the actual Xometry part. So a lot of the times, when you watch my videos, you'll see the first part up close, and then I'll do far away time lapses of running the rest of the job. That's because the first part is the NDA safe part. And then when I move to time lapse modes, I make sure I don't show the details of the parts that I'm making so that the NDA is protected. So no, I don't violate any Xometry rules. So no, they have not said anything. I think they like me because I'm generally fairly pro Xometry, even though I've had some bad situations with them lately, and I've been less inclined to, oh, there's a screw in my shoe. I've been less inclined to defend them. All right, tucking my computer inside a RO system wouldn't be a bad idea, right? This couldn't possibly go wrong. So, try not to look up my pants there, guys. If I put this here, it should still be on a pallet and protected from leaks, except for from the hose that's going directly over it. But it's on a pallet, it should be protected from leaks, and it will be out of my way. So hold on, my tour mock is waiting for me. Welcome to job shop life. It's normally not quite as annoying to walk all the way across the, oh no, I forgot the material. Okay, so there was, how many did I say I needed? One more? There's 5 in my bucket that I'll grab. Okay, I'll grab 3 of them now because I only have one hand thanks to you guys. And load up the mill. This probably would have been easier on my phone, and I could have used like that magnetic tripod mount, but it's so much easier to see what I'm doing and like making sure I'm in screen on my tablet. So, yeah. Everyone cover your ears. Wait, no, I have a cloth. I was going to use the blow off, but I can just use a towel. All right. So what are you guys up to? Anyone else in the shop? Is it a weekend? I feel like it's a weekend. I don't know anymore. It's the hazard of being self-employed is what are days of the week? All right, back to over here. So Julian Bout asks, how do I get local customers? For the most part, I just don't. In Australia, it's 6 a.m. Okay, so it must be Saturday here. How do I get local customers? I really don't. Customers find me through word of mouth. I've never had anyone contact me through my YouTube channel, I don't think. At least nothing that's gone anywhere. So word of mouth and friends, that's pretty much it. Honestly, my plan for, hey man, how's it going? Hey, Bleach, yeah, I recognize your name, channel member. My plan for 2024 was to diversify my client base, the people that I make parts for. And I completely failed about that. And I'm still almost 100% Xometry. But instead, I've kind of diversified my revenue streams where now I teach and I'm also doing some like fusion training for next gen. And that has basically covered my diversification where if Xometry goes away, I would still be okay. But my like machine shop base is still, yeah, Bleach, I saw that message. I'm so sorry. That was right before I got sick and I saw it and then I continued to lay in bed coughing. So yeah, my bad. I will get you into the Discord. All right, that's the power cord for the monitor. For those of you that are just getting here, we're shaving Yaks, which means to do one thing, we have like 45 different subtasks and we're knocking out those subtasks. So to do one of the non-Xometry jobs that I need to do, I need my laser. So my laser I unset up during the move. This is the world's shortest power cord. And so now I have no laser to make those parts. How do I source materials? I basically just have a couple people or a couple places I go back to all the time. I get a lot of stuff from McMaster. You can't beat the speed. I use Alro for larger pieces of material, like that bar that I was making the jaws out of. They're quick, they're local, and they're cheap, but you can't really efficiently buy small quantities from them. So if it's a small quantity, I just get it from McMaster. Then I use a lot of Bodecker plastics as well. Sometimes they're cheaper than McMaster, sometimes they're not. But they have the advantage of being able to provide material certifications where for plastics where McMaster doesn't. So that's kind of the main place where I use Bodecker. And sometimes they're a lot cheaper. Sometimes they're a little cheaper, sometimes they're a lot cheaper. Which is the case with this big job that I have coming up. All right, so this is the USB cable for the laser. I'm just gonna plug everything down here before I put it in place. There's the laser. I have the monitor. I didn't actually realize this had an HDMI port. My monitor probably doesn't do HDMI, but there's a tiny dinosaur in a jar. Welcome to having kids. All right, so now the question is, which way do I want this aimed? Do I want it aiming backwards or towards me? Cord management would be easier if it was aiming towards me. Yeah, but I suppose it would be ugly. Chat, come back. I'm gonna have to grab my phone. I was reading it and it went away too fast. Cheese McBaguette says, I need to find some local options for scraps and side projects as you don't do machining professionally. If you have an Alro or metal supermarkets, or any of that kind of place, they all have scrap bins. You can just go there, it's pretty cheap. Xometry will accept a certificate of conformance from McMaster on standard material certs. That's a good thing to know. I did not know that. The thing I run into is they need the full material traceability, where they need like all the packing slips from every step along the way, and McMaster does not provide that. But I did not know they provided this certificate of conformance. That I will use in the future for sure. Every Xometry job needs a material certification. Technically, no, I just run into them a lot with the kind of work that I do. Material certification and the material traceability, it's super, super common for the small, particularly plastic parts. Cosmin, you get pieces from Online Metals. Yes, they have that like box of drops that's actually a pretty good value. I still have parts or materials from a box of scraps that I got from them like 3 years ago, and I use them all the time. Hey, CMTB. Right now I'm sitting on the floor talking to chat, but I'm working on getting my laser back together so that I can make some parts. I'm also running some soft jaws on the Tormach, and eventually here we're gonna run an actual customer job if I can ever get off the floor talking to you guys. Bleach, have you have brought some motivation for you and enjoyed your videos? Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. CMTB, if you were talking about the laser is the new addition, this is actually relatively old. In fact, older than any other machine in the shop. Well, older in terms of how long it's been in my shop. Older than any other machine here. The Haas is obviously old enough to drink, and this thing is only, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. I am just getting it re-hooked up after the move. Unless you're talking about the Tormach, in which case, yeah, that is relatively new. So let's squeeze him in here. Power monitor and laser hookup. That's all he needs, guys. Right, guys? Get in there. Yeah, putting a computer in the RO system is probably not the best thing I have. How much did I spend on the laser? When it was pre-2020, but the laser was like $3,000. It's 100 watt with like 40 by 24 inch travels. I do kind of regret not getting the one with 48 inch travels, because then you could feed a piece of plywood to it, but it's not the end of the world to sorry, I was trying to move fast to make sure I didn't show you my crotch for too long. It's not the end of the world to cut a piece down. All right, let's go to the side of the shop that we never show and pull these wires through. So this is my RO system, if you haven't seen that. I don't have it hooked up right now because it creates wastewater, which needs to go somewhere. I don't have proper plumbing in this shop. I have water, but I don't have drain. And that water has to go somewhere. And normally it goes outside to water my wife's plants and stuff, but it's the middle of winter and it just freezes before it gets out there. So it's right now I have it turned off. I'll run it for a bit to build up some water that I can use to top off the machine. I just haven't yet. All right, we have cords. So there's power. This laser is gonna have 2 circuits is the wrong word. I guess they are circuits. But it has one that's always on and then one that's controlled by the laser. So the one that's always on is like power for the laser and the computer. And then the always on, or the one that's controlled by the laser is things like the chiller and the ventilation. So, but this is the first step. And for those of you that are just coming in, yes, I am still sick, so I will be coughing at you guys a little bit. Oh, this is such a short cable. I think it'll just barely get here. Oh, do you know what? Okay. I think we need to go cable hunting. Because remember when I said this thing has HDMI on it and I didn't realize that? The monitor does not have HDMI. because this was just like a cheap throwaway computer or and cheap throwaway monitor. Here, Matthew, I'll read your comment in a second here when I stand back up. But I have a HDMI to DVI cable that's longer. All right, I've lost my phone again. Oh, look, I'm in the basket down here. So Matthew says every Xometry partner is from the US and you can't find information for EU partners. You wonder if it's worth it in the EU. To my understanding, Xometry has not been focusing on international. And while it did exist for a while, I don't even know if it's active right now. So sorry, it's kind of a US thing at the moment, at least if you want it to be good. Yeah, Xometry's full, or excuse me, McMaster's traceability does not meet Xometry's. Experience machining polycarbonate, yes. I've done it quite a bit and I haven't really had much problems with it. It's basically very soft and gummy and you have to be careful about what coolant you use. But if you take a big chip and a relatively slow RPM, that's fine. And a very sharp tool. Sharp tooling is I think the most important thing. I have one part that keeps coming back over and over again. I don't know what it is, but I've made a lot of them. And they're all out of polycarbonate, and I don't know. I haven't really had any problems with it. It's not thin because you're saying you're making chocolate molds out of it. So yeah, it's easier than like acrylic because acrylic is kind of brittle and chippy. Polycarbonate is not brittle, but it's very gummy and likes to stick to the tool. So I always use brand new tools for plastics. My tools like start in plastic and then they get demoted to aluminum eventually. So just buy brand new tools. And I did a video about machining thin acrylic parts bleach. I don't remember if I talk about polycarbonate. Maybe I talk about acrylic and polycarbonate, but I wasn't really specific to polycarbonate in that. And yes, it is one that can crack if you have the wrong coolant. It's more picky about things like acetone and isopropyl alcohol. I'm sorry, I'm going to blow my nose. I don't know how to mute myself. I hope that muted me. It's more picky than acrylic in my experience. But I believe if you use like a normal Qualichem 251C type coolant, it cuts just fine. Yeah, not IPA friendly. And in fact, you want to see where I made a mistake? So polycarbonate window, you see that hazing? Maybe you can't. And there's actually some checking here. I tried to clean this with acetone because I'm dumb and it like ruined my window. So I need to get that replaced. I don't know what I was thinking. That's when it was brand new. I thought if I just used a little bit, it would be fine. And it was not fine. I'm going to have to get some more water here. All right. Back to the Tormach. Should we measure the first part and the last part when I'm done here? I think that would be fun. All right, where are we at? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs. No, 11 jaws, which is 10 pairs plus one. Plus I have another pair, so I need to cut one more. I need to cut one more jaw on the saw, and then we should be good. And we need to keep shaving Yaks. So if you guys are wondering, this is what it's actually like for me in my shop. My videos are edited and you don't see me running around between 6 different things trying to multitask poorly. Oh, there's 2 parts in there. Okay, so I still need to cut one more to get an even number of pairs. Back on the floor with you. Loosen that. did I loosen that? Fun fact, there was going to be a video on this thing, and then it broke. So I haven't gone around to doing that video. I did get it used, so it was pretty, oh, I missed the comment. Hold on, let me get back to my phone here in a second. All right. Lock that down. This is the last one, I promise. All right. Okay, so back to the oh no, we need to go get cords. And while I'm looking through the cord box, I will answer your comments. Let's see. All right. Are the standard 6-inch jaws? It probably cost me more to make them. Yes. Yeah. At least if you factor in my time. But I don't really have, like, I'm kind of bottlenecked by materials right now. And I don't know. I just like the flexibility of just being able to make them myself. The material is cheap and I have the time right now. Does the super glue hold down method affect any of the plastics? It definitely can. You have to be careful about getting the glue on the part. If you, I need a knife. But if you use the tape on the bottom, you're fine. I do have a video about machining small acrylic parts, and I go into detail about that. So hydrate, yes, I need to hydrate. My voice is dying. All right, I think this one's longer. Ugh. I've lost my cup. I think it is just about empty though. Basically, yeah, if you're doing the small parts and it's one of the materials that can be affected by acetone, then you have to make sure that you, hydrating? Then you have to make sure that you use tape. If you use glue and polycarbonate, how do you get it off? You don't. You use the tape, and so the glue should never actually touch the material. We will be doing that today once I finally get around to this part. This is that mirrored acrylic stuff, and I'm going to actually take off this protective layer and replace it with the normal PET tape and put a layer on the back here to glue it down. So, but first we need to get the laser running so I can laser cut the blanks out of this so that I can machine them. Is there a podcast dropping soon? We're gonna record it Monday. If you haven't heard me say it a couple times already, I'm still sick, and I was very, very, very sick this last Monday, just completely unable to record. So Harris and I will record Monday, and then it'll come out a couple days after that. All right, I need to plug this in. I'm gonna try leaving the monitor around, or not the monitor, my phone. So I'll have to be quick on catching chat because my tablet decides to hide it. Ugh. All right, so HDMI. That should give me a little extra length. And I can plug it in. Okay. First problem of the day solved. We can get rid of this AVI cable or whatever this is called, that one. The blue ones with that. I missed a spot on that yak. Yeah, I know, I'm working on it. This is the cable that goes to the laser. So the laser is now plugged in. Power, I believe, was the spot we missed on the yak. Maybe put the cable through the opening so it doesn't dangle. We'll get to the dangling. We'll get there. We'll get there. That's what zip ties are for. Okay, so now we need to sort out power, which this is going to be a little bit temporary. I'm from a mini machine and fabrication background of grid and generator life, DRO installations, the closest thing you come to a computer. Hey, I mean, they work. Remember, I teach manual machining, which some of you will find funny considering I have a podcast that's called like Stop Teaching Manual Machining, but that was a little bit of a exaggeration. But I would still people rather learn CNC machining over manual machining. I don't get to choose what I teach. I should be starting that class again here soon. Okay, so this is where power is coming from. I'm using my extension cable right now for the saw. So when the saw is done, I'll unplug it and plug this in. So this is the permanent power, the always on power. And some of that's going to go into the laser, and then it's going to become the switched power. So we need to mount this guy for the stuff that needs permanent power, which I need to do on the other side. How has the Aroa setup been? Very, very good. We'll use it later today. I still need to, hey, look, the saw's done. I can unplug it now. I still need to invest in a whole bunch more Aroa stuff to make it like truly, truly useful. And investing uses money, and I'm very, very light on the money side right now. I did like one big thing in December in terms of money making, and I have not gotten paid for it yet. I did, however, do many, many spending monies in December. And so cash flow is like non-existent. Where am I going to put you guys? Cash flow is like non-existent for me right now. I don't know where to put you guys. And basically what I'm trying to say is I am broke at the moment until the things that I did in December pays off, but we haven't gotten there yet. So when that comes in, I'll be feeling a lot more financially stable. In the meantime, it's like, I'm just not going to spend any money. And the first thing that I'm not spending money on is Aroa stuff. And as soon as money comes in for that, I'll be able to get more of that stuff bought and get more of a complete system. Right now, I have a half system that's pretty good for letting me switch between like vices and stuff. But I don't have any of the hardware to make my own pallets and like the things that really, really make it useful. So at this point, it's just a quick change vice, and eventually it'll be like my full automation system. So I have a guy who's going to sell me a pneumatic thing for that vice or that machine for the Tormach, and then I can start worrying about automation and all that stuff. All right, let's put you guys. Nope, you're going to come with me to get water. You want to see the best upgrade I've ever done to the shop? It is this water cooler. It's a tankless one, like it just goes off of shop water. Like I don't have to put a new tank in it, but it's got a bunch of filters in it. And it's so cold, and it makes me drink 1,000,000 times more water than I did before. And I don't know, it just makes me happy. It cost me like $30. It supposedly fell off the back of someone's truck, and I got it on Facebook Marketplace for dirt cheap. It just has a really big dent in it. Yeah. The 1500 looks decent, but people always short on Tormach for the, they did that to themselves. I don't disagree. People expected more out of the 1500 than it delivered, and they created their own branding problem. The 1500 is legitimately really, really good, and nobody believes them because of some of their other machines. So, I think the 770, the 440, those deliver on exactly what everyone thinks they should have been and what they are. Like, there's no mismatch between customer expectations and reality on those. Like those knock it out of the park, but they're not professional level machines. But the 1100, they kind of promised as a professional level machine, and it didn't quite deliver. The 1500 is just not comparable at all to those machines. It is a professional level machine, but nobody believes them anymore because of the 1100 MX. So you also have to remember when the 1100 MX was released, it was a big step up, but it wasn't a Haas, which is what people wanted. So I need my hot glue gun. The 1500, I would say, it's not a mini mill. You can't treat it like a mini mill or expect a mini mill, but it competes in the same region as the Haas mini mill. There are times where I would rather the Tormach over a mini mill. There's also times where I prefer a mini mill over the Tormach. But like, they're at least batting in the same field now. Whereas with the 1100 MX, it was a different world that machine was competing in. We'll just put that there. All right, so power. There are right ways of doing this, I am sure. We will pretend this is temporary and that I will come back and fix it later. I promise you, I definitely will. I'm not going to leave it. So from Julian Bout, do I have to pay a monthly credit for these machines? Do I rely on getting orders? So and Bleach asked, what is my Haas? Yeah, it's an office mill 2A, OM2A. So the Haas, I bought with a loan, and yes, I pay a small amount for that every month. That machine was very cheap, so my monthly payments on that are like $300 plus insurance, which makes it closer to like insurance and taxes, which makes it closer to $400. So yeah, $400 a month for the Haas. The Tormach, I have a contract with Tormach where I am making videos in exchange for the machine. So as long as I make a video every X amount of time, I get to keep that thing. And as long as I keep publishing videos, I get to keep the machine. If I stop publishing videos, I have to send it back. But in terms of like, do I depend on this stuff? Yes, this is how I make a living. Like YouTube is about 3 to 5% of my income. Right now, teaching is about 35% of my income. But like the machine shop is everything else. So, and the work I do with Next Gen is a couple percent, but it's up and down depending on what they need. So, yeah, I have to make money every month or I don't feed my family. Like it's not just a hobby for me. Did Tormach make me get insurance on the 1500? No, I technically do not own it. It is not on my taxes. I do not report it as income. It is not technically in my possession yet. Now, after a certain number of videos, it does make that transfer where it will be mine. But right now, it belongs to Tormach. I am just a keeper of the machine, a steward of the machine. And yeah, good on Tormach. They did give me a very good deal. Like, if you consider the other people they've given machines, it's like stuff made here, and he's like a billion times bigger than me. So the fact that they gave me more machine is like a really vote of confidence on them. They think I'm going to grow as a channel, and I hope so. I hope we won't let them down. But like, I was going to have a hard time growing with just the office mill. And now that I have the Tormach, my growth can go up significantly, especially if I start bringing some of my own products to market, which is something that I want to get back to. All right. I'm going to lose my voice. I don't know how long this stream is going to go on. But we have definitely temporary fix here. Definitely not going to become permanent. Still not hot. Okay, we'll give it a second more. Where's the power cord for the laser? That one's important. There we go. I wonder if I used the wrong one earlier, and if I used the one that should have been for the computer, or if I used the laser power cord on the computer, because this one is longer than that one, and I think I did it backwards. All right. definitely temporary, not going to become permanent at all. Let's slap some hot glue on the back of this. And sticker there. Oop, my Tormach's waiting for me. This definitely didn't become permanent despite my best intentions last time. In my defense, there's only like 5 amps that's going through the circuit, and most of that's for the chiller. All right. Am I thinking a bigger workshop? Not anytime in the near future. I don't pay anything for this because this is on my property. And if I, come back, chat. Nope, come back. Well, I'm gonna have to go find my phone again. If I switch to a bigger shop, that means my overhead will, I don't know, 10x or something, or 5x. And I don't want that. So there's a ton of room. Like, look at all this wasted space. Do you know how many machines we can shove into that wasted space right now? Or even just like where my laser is? I have no reason to expand. The thing that would drive me out of here is ceiling height. In the meantime, this place is great. It's super cheap to air condition and heat. And it's super cheap because it's part of my house. I also get to write off some of my electricity costs at home because this is, a home office and part of my mortgage. So it's going to take a lot to kick me out of here. Now, there's a lot of things I can do to make it nicer and that I need to do. For example, you can see where we've stopped cleaning the ceiling. We need to finish that. We need to finish up the dry walls. But I'd much rather invest in here than go to somewhere bigger. We might build an addition for a larger machine if I had to. Bradley makes things, says, I don't think it's just that you're going to grow. It's that I'm dedicated to machining and getting into the nitty gritty. Yeah, companies like that I show mistakes and I'm honest. So I told Tormach, I will at no point be dishonest about the machine or the deal I have with you. And that's going to help you guys. So the more transparent you let me be, the more machines that you guys are going to sell. Did Xometry troll you with the messed up year in review? I don't get the Xometry announcement emails. I don't know why. I have to go onto their forum and find them after other people complain about them. So I don't know why I don't get those, but I don't. When can I bug you to get feedback about my shop? Yeah, just keep posting Discord. I promise I'll pay attention when I'm not sick. Dylan, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I got super, super, super sick. I'm still sick. I probably shouldn't be talking this much. But I just left the internet for a couple of days during that time. Bleach, you're starting your own machine shop in the EU. Would love to have a video dedicated to tools and stuff you need. That has been on my list, starting a machine shop in 2025. That has been on my list to do for a while. Obviously, I can't talk about EU stuff because I know nothing. Did I leave? I lived in Belgium for a couple years, but I was very young and I don't think the EU existed then. If it did, I didn't know because I was too young to, do anything except pick my nose and whatever children do. You wonder if Tormach is watching this. Norman, are you here? I don't know. They might be. I guess it'll be recorded and uploaded so they can go watch it later. Obviously, they can watch anything on my channel. I don't think they care except for Norman, who's my inside man there, who got me the deal and has been helping me with support and stuff. You could always do a weird box in roof thing for a taller. Yeah, I could. I have 2 feet or something between trusses, and as long as the tall part of the machine is less than 2 feet, then it would be fine. There's a lot of insulation up there now. We super heavily insulated the shop, so there's 2 or 3 feet of cellulose that we'd have to dig through. Did I get a Christmas present from Xometry? No, I did get a Christmas present from Tormach. They sent me some small t-shirts, which I don't know who they think that they're sending the box to. You're sick too, so you should also drink more cold water. Yeah. You sent me a message on Instagram. I know. I'm sorry. I forget what Instagram name you're connected to. But you're right. We did talk. Mike says you're finally glad you've caught a live video. I think this is the first one. You run a small machine shop 100 miles west of Indianapolis, which no, that's not far from me. Where are you? Never eat shredded wheat. Oh yeah. Okay. That's the opposite side. Are you in like, that's not Avon. Avon would be a little bit farther. You'd be past Daleville too, or not Daleville, Danville. Yeah, dude, where are you? That's super close. Yeah, you haven't missed anything yet. This is my first live stream. So no, I did an unboxing video. Oh, you're in Danville, Illinois. Okay, the other Danville. There's a Danville, Indiana too, which I had a friend who lived there. So I think of Danville, Indiana more than Danville, Illinois. Yeah, I know exactly where that is. Yeah, Dylan, I know. I forget. I have bad memory, but yes, we talked. We need to work on your logo, bud. I think it still needs some work. I can connect you to Scott, who did all the Design the Everything branding stuff, if you would like. For Audacity Micro, I kind of did my own, but I just like stole what he already did and changed the name basically, and just used text for the logo. But he's super, super good. And if you need like a website and stuff, he can get you hooked up too. All right, what was I doing? We need to start the Tormach. I need to take another drink of water before I lose my voice. And then back to yak shaving. You got a DBA. Was that to get away from the Got Chips name? I know we were talking about that on the Discord at some point too. Ugh. Dude, naming things is so hard. Niliana Precision, am I saying that right? That's not bad. Is that an area? Are you in the Niliana area? Or is that like a family name? Okay. I mean, that works. You're gonna have to spell it for people. I left my blanks over there. But it's easy to spell. It's just like people won't necessarily get it on the first try over the phone. I can't tell you how much of a pain it was to spell my Design the Everything email for people constantly. Because like Design the Everything is like, bad grammar. It's not a thing people say. And so people would write it down wrong. People would ask me to spell it for them. It was... Oh, okay, so it's not an area. It's your daughter's names combined. Yeah, I mean, I think it works. It's, I'm sure, easy to find domains and like social media handles for, so. Just get a simple logo that looks good. My rule of thumb is you need to be able to, for a machine shop, is it needs to be something that you could easily engrave on a part. If you can't engrave it on a part, it's too complicated. You pronounce it slightly differently? Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in Indiana, so it looks like, the end of it looks like Indiana to me. And so I just kind of mash it into, Niliana. But we also have a different background. So you're, what, West Coast, if I remember right? Okay. Back to the laser. All right, what was I doing on the laser? I just glued, totally permanently and legitimately assembled my power system. Google Workspace or Office 365. I am 0% Microsoft other than the operating system. I don't use Word or anything. I use LibreOffice and the Google Suite, so. Oh, well, I was completely wrong. I was going off like the pictures of your house, but I guess Florida, West Coast, whatever. Lone Wolf, your name isn't your favorite, and you need to update your profile with your logo. Yeah, All that branding stuff takes so much time, and it's so hard to pinpoint if it's valuable or not. The web version of Microsoft Tools sucks so much. Do you hate them with a passion? Yeah, I don't know. I don't use Microsoft stuff unless I absolutely have to, which is basically just Windows. I'm very heavily in the Google ecosystem and just kind of open source stuff, so LibreOffice. All right. So now we need a second power strip, totally legitimately installed. Greetings from a chilly Northern Ireland. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Ireland is one of the places that I would like to get to at some point. Not many people know this, but I used to live in Belgium. I was very young. I was very small. But I don't think we ever got to Ireland. And we got to a lot of other countries around there. But hi from Finland. Hello, NM. How you guys doing? For those of you that are just getting here, we're yak shaving, which the concept of yak shaving is that, like, I needed to do this one thing, but to do another thing, I had to do another thing. But to do that, I had to do something else, and to do something else. And to do that, I had to do something else. And to do that, I had to shave a yak. And like, we're so far from our actual goal, but like, we need to do it to get to our goal. So that's what we're doing. And this week's yak is we need to get the laser up and running, but so that I can use the laser to prep my material to run the job. And to get the laser up and running right now, we're hooking up power. Hello from South Central Idaho. I have been to Idaho. How you doing? Art that makes art. I like your name. It's kind of in the like rep rap theory of thought of printers that make printers. Are you a 3D printer guy? All right. Definitely safe, more power strips. No one tell my insurance company or my dad. All right, so this is the power strip that is gonna run our stuff that needs to be controlled by the laser. So this will be for the chiller and the vent fan. Nope, I didn't hold it long enough. Hi. Not OSHA approved. I don't think OSHA does electrical safety. I think I'm more not UL approved, not code approved. Uh-oh. I've got a buddy that's like UL certified. We can have him come make a panel for me. To be fair, I don't think this outlet is UL approved. I know a lot of people say to just replace that stuff. Sorry, I just sniffled into my mic. I wasn't thinking. I could 3D print a mount for the power strip. Yes, that would make a lot of sense and be way less sketchy. I could also guilt my dad into coming and doing the electrical right. He was a former electrical engineer and at one point, I believe, a certified electrician. I don't think he actually worked as an electrician ever, but he got the certification so he could do the wiring on our house. That was like before I was born, but like he's good with the electrical stuff. Whereas I am more inclined to cut corners than he is. He also doesn't cut corners, which is both sometimes a good thing and sometimes a bad thing with him, because he does a really, really good job slowly. So, sorry, Dad, if you're watching this. You know that, though. All right. Power from the chiller to that thing is next. Apparently, I need another one of those cords. We use a lot of these on this machine. What are these called? That kind of connector? Everything runs on that connector. Bleach sounds like you. The more likely to cut corners or the going to do things right slowly? So Cheese McBaguette, 3D printing is what introduced me to making, and now you have a vacuum former and soon a small CNC. Nice. IEC connector, thank you. Yeah, my first CNC machine, my first computer computer-controlled machine was, in fact, a 3D printer. It was one of those Prusa i3 knockoff kits from China. It was a mess. It was terrible, but it did. Oh, no, it didn't work. I was going to say it did work. It never worked. I never got it functioning well. But it was a good lesson in troubleshooting, which is probably what I needed at that point. All right, water connections. So this is the chiller going to the laser. I have these clamped off on a clamp to keep them from leaking. They need to go over there. And then we'll need to bleed bubbles. But I think, is this the last step? It might be the last step. Don't fall over. Okay. I'm holding this case with one hand. It's really not designed for that. Oh no. Wait, no, it'll work. So these need to go here. Okay, we should just barely make it. I know cable management is a mess. We'll get there. We'll get there, we'll get there. So that goes there, and then I need zip ties. Which are somewhere here. I know I have zip ties somewhere. Hold on, just watch the laser for me. Make sure it doesn't run away. Where did they go? Now, are zip ties the right way of doing this? Probably not, again. But this system is so low pressure, it just does not matter. And it's been zip tied for a number of years. Nope, there's one. I just need two. Now we can make this work. Some stuff in my shop is super organized, but other parts of my shop are not organized, and the zip tie stuff is definitely one of them. You back to Carvera Air. I saw those. Those are cool because they have the tool changer. If you're doing the right kind of stuff for them, I think it would be a lot of fun. Tips and tricks for machining rubber. I kind of like James's don't machine rubber. I don't know. I haven't done much. If I had to guess, I would say make them use really, really sharp tools. And I know some people freeze it. Someone asked me about mics. Did you mean micrometers or this? This is a DJI mic, which happens to hook directly into my little tablet. If you mean micrometers, I use Mitutoyo for my 0 to 1, which is like 90% of what I do. And then I filled out the rest of my collection. Oh, I have a 1 to 2 Mitutoyo as well. And then I filled out the rest of my collection with Haas mics. This microphone that I'm wearing on me at the moment, and for audio purposes, is a DJI wireless mic, and it's got some really, really nice design features, and I am pretty happy with it. All right, water outlet, water inlet. So the inlet on the laser goes to the outlet on the pump. And totally secure hose clamp. I actually think you could run this with no hose clamp and it would be fine. I'm just using some zip ties for insurance. It is theoretically a basically zero pressure system. Okay, so water's hooked up. Power, oh, we need power to the computer, but that just needs to be plugged into our permanent power there. I think we're good. Mike, you're talking about microphone? Yeah, let me show you this thing. It's one of the best design products I've ever used. So you can see there's my little clip-on receiver. The red means it's recording on its own. The green means it's streaming. So you get a audio backup on the actual thingy itself, so that if you lose like the connection, you still keep your audio. Bleach, you ask what my name is? My name is AJ. So this is the case it comes in. I hope I don't ruin anything by opening this. But like you can see, there's the second mic. This charges everything. Oh, it did try to connect that second mic. I hope that wasn't bad. It's like the best design product I've ever used. It's so convenient and so nice. And this thing keeps it charged for me for like months. And I can plug it into my phone. I can plug it into a real camera. And it sounds good. At least I hope it sounds good. I guess I can't hear what you guys are hearing, but nobody's complained yet. I'm talking too much and it's making me out of breath because I'm still sick. So let's go hydrate. And I think the laser's ready. I can't, we need to hook power to the monitor. I'm going to mute and blow my nose. All right, spared you guys of that, or at least I tried to. Yeah, the Rode has the same thing that is supposed to be really good. I went with DJI because I used to use that DJI gimbal cam. But that gimbal cam has died on me. The autofocus stopped working, if you couldn't tell from some of my videos. So now I record just using my phone. And I'm doing this live stream with my tablet, which is a OnePlus tablet. Which has worked pretty well for me. I need to cut this. Here, detour time. Machine needs fed. Zip ties need cut. And then after that, the laser should be done, I think. We'll have to get it booted up and we can get our part cut. So. Do I have a machinist friend who could help me if I got sick? I mean, I could ask Harrison for help if I needed to. The nice thing about Xometry is like the work I have is like I take the work and then I do the work and there's not really a long lag time. And if I really needed to cancel a job with Xometry, I could. Harrison would help me out if he could. He would have been much more reliable for that 6 months ago, but he's gotten so big that like he just doesn't have time for, you know, hey Harrison, can you take my Xometry job? He would be fine. Like he would be willing to. He just doesn't have the man hours or the machine hours right now to actually do that. Oh wait, hey, my zip ties! I found them. Look, they were right there on the table. I left my power cord. So. I've got a buddy, Scott. He ran design everything with me. He would probably help me if he could, but he is not a machinist by trade, but he could load the machine. Be careful, Xometry will smite me for sending their work somewhere else. Who said anything about Xometry work? Yeah, they don't like that. You can outsource some Xometry work. You have to be careful about what you're doing and how you're doing it. But like, they don't expect you to do finishing in-house. Some people do. I do like tumbling in-house or sandblasting. But if I need heat treat or anodization, if you need EDM or grinding, you can outsource that. So I don't know. I don't do it if I can avoid it because I don't want to send off the things that I use to make money. But you can outsource some Xometry operations. Now, I don't know what their rules are for machining parts, but you could also argue that I'm hiring a contractor, and that's, I don't know. They're changing a lot of their policies. Yeah, I know. That's kind of what they do. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. All right. Will the laser turn on? Can you guys see anything? No, where's my computer? My computer's over there. Your qualification meeting is next Friday. Nice. Did you see what everyone else is saying in the Discord about like the questions they were asked and stuff? Oh, we need air to the laser too. But that shouldn't be too hard. This is the airline in. Well, we'll do this after we check if the computer works. Yeah, in the Discord, everyone, like there's a couple people that just did that same call with them. It sounds like it's super easy, but there's a couple questions they always ask. Yeah, have a QMS, definitely. They're gonna ask you about that. They're gonna ask you about an emergency management plan, which, as we were saying, saying that you're gonna outsource them is actually not a plan that they will accept. So it's all in the Discord. Okay. Let there be power. Okay, the laser turned on. I need to turn on the computer, which is kind of a duh. Oh, no, that was the CG eject button. Okay, so that's turning on. I thought I had this already plugged in. I use a lot of these like keyboard mouse pad combination things for machines. I think I plugged it into the back of the machine. What'd you say? Thoughts on using an optical comparator for measuring threads when ring gauges aren't available? Yeah, I do it all the time. You've already moved your machine, nice. Why would you not use wires? I feel like I'm missing. Oh, why would you not use thread wires? I don't know, because they're annoying. Yeah, I use my optical comparator to measure threads all the time. So for male threads, if I can, I still check it with the ring gauge. I think the ring gauge is, I don't know, more reassuring, but like it's really hard to beat the optical comparator, especially for weird stuff. Like you don't want to buy a new custom thread gauge every single time. Just spend a couple $100 and get an ISO or AMS so you can move up to the highest tier. It's not that difficult and set up a simple. Yeah, but if you make a complicated system, you're gonna have to follow the complicated system. And frankly, I don't care about ISO or whatever that other one is, AS9000 right now. Like, it does not bother me. How did I source my comparator? Facebook Marketplace. It was not a particularly, like, I mean, it's not crappy, but it's not a nice one. How am I doing gauge calibration? So basically, I have a couple master gauge blocks that, like, the only thing they ever get used for is calibrating gauges. And once a week, I just check all of my tools against that set of gauge blocks. Or like, it's not a set, it's like a couple that I got specifically for this purpose. And whenever you need to recertify those, I don't remember what it is for gauge blocks, like every 2 years or something, I just buy new ones. That way I always have something that's NIST traceable, but like I don't have to send things off for calibration. You have to send your master gauge out once a year now for Premium Plus. Or you just buy a new one. So that's what I do. I don't know what the cost difference is, but the simplicity difference, and again, I'm not Premium Plus, so it's fine. Where is the air inlet? Where does it come from? It comes from here. So this is for the air blast. This gets hooked up to my compressor. So that goes, let's go around this wire. That goes here. I think I'm going to go around the back. Go around the back. And up to the ceiling. Don't look at my belly. Go in there. There we go. Okay. Oh, good. I was off screen. It's a little hard to check thread gauges without sending them out. I mean, yeah, that's true. Does Xometry inspect the workshop? When you sign the contract, you give them the right to, but I don't know, they've never done it. It's like $80, $100 to get the standard set of gauge blocks recertified. Okay, that's might be cheaper. It's your, they will send out people to visit soon. I know they send someone out for a tour when you go up a tier, or at least they did to Serven Solutions. All right, are you working? Come on. Windows booted up. We can check if it needs batteries. Oh, hey, look, there's the USB dongle. Okay, it's not plugged in. Plug that into the computer. All right, do we have control? Password is laser. Okay. There's even some convenient test cardboard in there still. Man, I should probably realign this thing now that I've moved it. That would be smart. This computer kind of sucks, so it takes a minute to boot up. But the Tormach's ready for us. So let's go back over. But I think the laser should be good to go. Thread gauges are $3 if you send in a bunch. That's good to know. I have bought some thread gauges used, and it's probably a good idea to send those out to get them certified. Xometry would probably frown on the used thread gauges. All right, was this the last soft jaw? I think this was the last soft jaw. But we're just about ready to start setting up the other job. All right. So go. All right, and then how's our soft jaw collection doing? Man, this camera case that always aims up, or well, this tablet case that always shows up. Come on, show me the... Don't fall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16's on the machine. Okay. So we'll have our 16 op 1s, and then we'll need to do the op 2s. All right, how's the laser coming? So we should just need to open light burn here. Oh, and check for bubbles in the coolant thingy. Let's do that. Sometimes you have to like lift the laser and like kind of jiggle the bubbles out. Sometimes it just works. And then we may or may not need to align the laser. I probably should, just because it's just a maintenance thing that lasers require sometimes. All right. There's the laser tube. And you can normally see bubbles here if there's bubbles. So I don't see any bubbles. If I pinch the hose, I can tell that we're getting pressure and circulation. So we appear to be good. Are there any bubbles on this side? Maybe this is the side you get bubbles on. I see no bubbles, so we seem to be good. I don't think I let any... No, I would have let water out of the laser. I don't know, it's fine, we're good. It's not gonna kill the laser if we run the laser, so that is progress. We have air at the regulator. There's a keyboard on the floor. Also, we need to find this guy a good home. Very critical for laser. We'll just put him here for now on the table. We've had 2 fires in this laser, I believe, so far, and both times the Fire extinguisher has come into play. So always have a fire extinguisher for lasers. Lasers burn stuff. All right, so can you see what I'm doing? I'm just making a test rectangle here. Cardboard preset. We should be good to hit go. Problem sending data to the laser. Did I not actually plug in the laser? I plugged this into the wrong spot. I also need to check my fan. So don't cut yet. I need to check if the fan's running. Which the easiest way tell is to touch it. Okay, fan is running. Now I'm gonna run my test cut. Come on. There's Crom sending data to the laser. You're plugged into the right spot this time. Oh. Oh wait, it's homing now. Why are you homing now? That's weird. All right. Now are you gonna cut? Please cut. It's cutting, okay. We have a square, well, a rectangle. So the laser's working. All right, first Yaks shaved. That was a whole lot of work to cut a smaller rectangle out of this piece of mirrored acrylic, but I would say it was necessary. It really wasn't. I could have done it on a saw, but this is how I did it last time, so it feels appropriate to do it the same way again. Because why change process? Plus, this needed to be done eventually anyway. And might as well do it now, because other people have been wanting to use my laser, and there's been a few shop projects where it would come in handy. All right, so I need to figure out what size material I needed. Let's put you in my pocket. Do you elongate the bolt holes for your soft jaws so you can? No, I probably should do that. I probably should do that. I make them all with just a 1/2" end mill, so I could. Welcome to the side of this you guys never get to see. All right, here's our part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're making 15 at a time. If I remember right, these have a really, really high mortality rate, but I only need 10 of them. And our stock size is 2 1/4 by 1.6 for some reason. 2 1/4 by 1. I probably shouldn't have had Xometry up in the background there. 2 1/4 by 1.6. Once we get the material, we can get that started. I will need some sort of fixture on the mill. I may just use soft jaws. Okay, on the computer first, I'm just gonna type that in. 2 1/4 by 1.6. Okay. Put my mirror in there, face down. All right, and choose my acrylic speeds and feeds. Where are they? Not cork. Thick cardboard. Cardboard engraving, 1/2" MDF, rock engraving, 3/4 inch pine, cardboard engraving. Wow, how many cardboard engravings do I have? Cardstock, brass Ceramark. Maybe I don't have a hardboard. That's probably about right for this. They just give you numbers for your presets and you don't know what they are until you click on them. But hardboard should work here. Oh, I meant to do a frame on that first, but I guess it'll work or it won't. So for those of you that haven't been here the whole time, we have been getting the laser up and running for this 1 4-second cut so that I can make parts on the Haas and get that up and running. Yes, I could have used, is this cut all the way through? That cut perfectly fine. Okay. That right there, that was what we've been working for this whole time. And this is our stock for these parts that I'm making. They're gonna be some like mirrored cylinder things. There we go. So now we can start working on the Haas. Okay. Oh, except the Tormach needs me too. Which do we do first? I'm gonna do this first. So I learned some lessons from this last time. Let's get you angled a little bit differently. Well, you still can't see. I learned some lessons from this last time. And basically it comes down to tape and masking and stuff. I have a brand new roll of the fancy tape. Should get the plastic off. Okay, fresh. So this stuff comes with a layer of plastic on it, but this plastic will get sucked up by the tool and like wrapped around it and glued to it, and bad things happen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this off very carefully. I don't want to touch it, but I got some dust. Fingerprints don't matter on it, but and then I'm going to, but I still want a protective layer on the surface. Otherwise, the chips will hit the surface and make it not as clear. So this is an optical product. For the life of me, I actually have no idea what this thing's doing. But it does need to be optically clear and good. So I've removed that layer of tape and I'm replacing it with this tape. The tape that comes on it is super gummy and will wrap around the tool. This stuff is, the PET tape is, I don't know, almost harder and fragile, like it's brittle compared to the other stuff. And it will ideally not wrap around the tool. I'm saying this with confidence like I've done it before. I have not, but I'm pretty sure it'll work. So I'm just using this little X-Acto knife to trim around the edges and get all that tape off. And then, oh, we need to do a layer on the bottom too, because that's going to be our actual glue surface. So do another layer of tape. I was out of 2-inch tape before this roll showed up, and I was using 1-inch for everything, and I did that for like a month. And now I'm remembering how much better the 2-inch tape is. So just kind of trim around the outside. It might be time for a new blade. I use these scalpels a lot because the blades are cheap and easy to get on and off. Let's see, is that the right blade? No, that's not the right blade. Are you the right blade? Close enough. So I really like these scalpels, and they're so sharp when you get a brand new blade. The blades don't last forever because they're, you know, a scalpel and not an axe. So they wear down quick, but man, when you get a brand new blade, it cuts so nicely. He says as he struggles. When you get a brand new blade, it cuts so nicely. And the blades are so cheap, you don't feel bad about changing them. And it's so easy to change them that you actually change them. There we go. So So the mirrored side, we're gluing down, and then the top side is protected. While hopefully not wrapping around our tool and destroying our surface. This blade, I'm going to wrap in tape before I throw it away. And we should be good. Comments have died down, but I'm getting more viewers. New viewers, what are you guys doing? What are you up to? Let me throw this away. Oh, and then we need, all right, changing gears. We're in full machine shop ADD mode. Let me get this knife back in. I have a little Gridfinity holder for the razor blade too. I think I put this on printables, but it's got a slot for the knife here with like big finger holes and then spare spots for the blades. So I probably should put a sharps bin on there somehow. Or maybe another like 1U Gridfinity. That way I don't have to wrap them in tape every time, but I'm gonna mute. Here, chat, say some stuff. And again, for you guys who are like just getting here or have been coming and going, I'm still sick, so I'm losing my voice a little bit. We'll see how much longer I can continue this. All right, this would be a good one to actually show you inside the machine, I think. How would I do that? Could I put you guys on a stool next to the machine? That might work. Not that I'm doing anything too intense, but we're gonna get set up for the Op 2 on these jaws. I don't have any material left in there, no. Okay, so we've done all the Op 1s, now we're doing all the Op 2s. This would be a good time to have 2 vices. I don't have 2 vices. Well, I do have 2 vices, but the other vices are very small. All right, what if you sit there? Can you see? Pull you up a nice seat. I feel like I'm taking care of my kid. Come on, kids. What about that? That's not too bad. You should still be able to hear me since I'm wearing the mic. And if you're just joining, I'm not blowing things off because, oh, hey, look, you have been saying stuff and it hasn't been showing up on my, sorry about that. The chat hasn't been showing up on my tablet. Let me go through it. That PC booted slowly, so be careful of, yeah, that PC is trash. It's like super old, it's dying, all kinds of things. I don't store anything on the hard drive. I only store things on the Google Drive. So it's basically just a console. Before starting my machine shop, what was my profession? I was an engineer. I worked for a company that designed the things that held up credit card readers. And if you are in the US, you have almost guaranteed to use something that I have designed. If you ever shopped at a Walmart or a Dollar General or a Whole Foods, you've used something that I've designed. Keaton says you haven't used the super glue method. You've used wax and epoxy work holding a lot. I mean, super glue is probably just a little bit faster than that. I'm sure they all work just fine. Is it a mirror image? I'm not sure, PW. It might be. Where's the Zindin Eroa system? It's on the Haas right now. We'll see that in a second. Any accuracy testing on the 1100? Do we want to do that here in a second? I haven't done anything like super scientific, but we can go through these soft jaws. I just ran 16 or something identical parts, so we can see if there's any drift over time. Cosmin, you live vicariously through YouTube machinists. Hey, me too. You have a wood shop with some utilitarian machinist tools. Nothing wrong with wood. James says he's heading out to the garage right now to start cleaning up his new lathe. Yeah, congratulations on that machine, by the way. Oh boy, financial stuff running on so much jank. I'm not sure what that was a reference to. I most certainly do run on a lot of jank. In terms of financial stuff, I do fortunately have a father who was a executive at a very large telecommunications company for a while, and has been the chief financial officer of several different organizations. So So I lean on him a lot, and I just kind of give him all of my financial stuff and say, help, do taxes, please. And they always get done. I haven't been arrested yet. So let's see. Mike says, making our own parts is nice and keeping me busy. But as I grow, I think Xometry might be a good fill-in work. Yeah, I think fill-in work is what they are best at. I don't recommend doing what I'm doing and being almost entirely Xometry work. I think it's a good way to get started, but maybe not a good long-term method. I have plans for some of my own products that I'm hoping will eventually replace all of my Xometry work. But in the meantime, Xometry is going to pay for that product stuff. And basically the reason I want to go to products is it's like asynchronous. So if I really wanted to, I could make a whole bunch of products and like make them beforehand, then like take a month off or something, and just ship the ones that I have. With job shop stuff, it doesn't really work that way. All right, we're gonna find the center of this hole for our work coordinate system. I don't know if you guys can see that at all. In my previous, in my previous profession, yes, I worked on some financial stuff. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Even if I'm not wording stuff at all, brain stop working. Oh, dang it. I was supposed to set my Z work coordinate system, or my Z offset first. My bad. Thanks, AJ. It was so dirty. They were running neat, so every last thing is super oily. They were running oil. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I need to set my Z offset, which I'm actually not super sure how I'm gonna do. Because my Z offset is gonna be the bottom of this talon grip jaw thingy here. I'm just clamping with the serrated jaws on my finished surface. Not something I would do with a customer part, but I don't care with soft jaws. Any progress on, neat is straight oil. I didn't know that. Any progress on the espresso distribution tool? I mean, that was a one-off thing as an IMTS demo. It was never going to be a product or anything. My channel members have access to that video. Otherwise, it should be on the Next Gen channel if they ever got around. Hey, look, that's the right height. I don't know if Next Gen ever got around to putting that on their channel, but they paid for the video, so hopefully they did. Otherwise, my channel members have it. It's like that secret project. Any plans on adding a lathe? If a product demanded it, I would. I'm not super comfortable on a lathe. It's been a long time since I've run a lathe. I actually teach the lathe operators course at the school, but it's like a 4-day course, and it's an operator only. It's not, programming or whatever. So I kind of get away with not being super knowledgeable there. But no, if I'm just doing job shop stuff, I'm probably not going to be adding a lathe anytime soon. My goal is to automate the milling, not to add another unautomated process. I suppose lathe stuff is the easiest stuff to automate. Okay, so we have our Z work coordinate system set. I hope you guys are distracting me. I should probably stop talking at some point here. Mike says, good luck on my own product. It has made my life much easier and simpler. Still a lot of work, but you enjoy it more. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't not enjoy the job shop stuff. Like, it's a lot of fun, but also at times it is very stressful, and I still am not doing everything on my own schedule. I would love to be just, less beholden to outside forces so I can spend more time with the family or whatever. All right, so I just hit go on the actual program. The actual program is set up to probe this bore. That's how it's setting our XYZ work coordinate or XY work coordinate system. Z is determined by the top of the step jaws. But this way I don't have to set up a work stop or anything. I just have to give it roughly where that bore is. I have a lot of product ideas, and that I always have. I mean, that's why I designed the Everything Happened. Okay, I'm gonna focus for 1 second here. So this is the 1/2 inch tool. Let's make sure it's not gonna do anything dumb. Okay, it's not quite on the material, but otherwise should be fine. I assume I just gave it a super wide margin for some reason. I could probably cut off a couple seconds on this program. Man, I never use traditional facing passes. I almost always use like an adaptive and then a flat. I guess it probably is faster in this case, but it's just not how I normally program things. So it should just face it off and then come back and deburr. I don't think I'm doing anything fancy. Can you guys actually see anything? I mean, maybe kind of a little. Can you see me in the window? All right, so once this is done, we're gonna keep running the op2s on these. And, oh, I need to get the Haas set up for the other parts and get those run. Which shouldn't be too bad. It's so funny. Why do I do so many extra passes on the side here? I suppose these might have been like the very first parts that I ever programmed for this machine, so I was probably being cautious and scared of it. All right, so now we should be switching to our deburring tool. And deburring. Wow, that's a really slow plunge. That may be in the right place. I didn't actually check if that bore was clean. Oh, I think it's a little bit off center. I think we were a little bit off center there. Because it cut really heavily on one side and not on the other. I wonder why that happened. It should have probed in the right place. Maybe I should have deburred the hole. I bet there was an onion skin on that hole. There is. Where's my big deburring? Yeah, okay. Well, it's a good thing these are soft jaws. So, yeah, we missed a little bit. So it hit a chip inside of that bore when it probed, I'm pretty sure. But, I mean, we can manually deburr it, but that one's a little bit ugly. Let me deburr that hole. So this is the second one. I'm just deburring that hole. And let's try the exact same thing again and see if anything different happens. Thanks, coolant. You're very drippy. I'm not blowing off the machine because I don't want to deafen you guys, in case you're wondering. Like all machinists, I compulsively constantly blow off the vise even though you don't really need to. All right, take two. I guess this would be a good time where I could switch to my phone or something to give you guys a better view. But we're gonna probe the hole. This time without hitting any chips, ideally. And we'll see if it does better this time. Yeah, this one was pretty bad. We'll use those first so I don't have to look at it in my toolbox too long. I'm touching the coolant. Isn't that bad? No, this coolant's fine. If your coolant causes problems where it like makes your skin itch or whatever, then you need to switch coolant or do a better job maintaining it. I mean, I'm not gonna drink the stuff, but like I have no problems getting on my hands or whatever. A mini camera with a windshield wiper would be super nice. Yeah, you are not wrong. There's technically actually there is a camera inside the column of the machine, but getting video out of it is kind of a pain. There might be a way to remote into the controller, but I haven't gotten that stuff figured out yet. All right, so we'll see how that one came out, if we need to fix anything in the process there, but hopefully we don't. All right, Haas. That's where we're at. So how do I get you guys to see into the Haas? I need to open the door. My door doesn't quite open all the way with where my desk is. I think I'm going to be in the way. Well, some of this we can do outside the machine. How much can I lean? I can't lean you that much. Can I lean you this much? Hey, that's not too bad. Okay, so I'm gonna start by muting and then using my air blast. Unmute. Okay. So someone was asking about my 0 point. It is in use right now on the Haas. So I can just, boom, take off my vise. It's just one little flick of the wrist. And instead of making like a custom super glue palette right now or something like that, I am just going to take off, I need to wipe this off. It's still covered in chips. Instead of making my own custom super glue palette or whatever, I am going to just take this and use it like it was a super glue palette. So I'm just gonna put a brand new set of soft jaws on there and just go right off the top of it. You guys are making me be messy. So you still can't quite see what I'm doing. But I can just kind of take off these, woo, don't be too wobbly there, guys. Take these jaws off. It's the wrong size. Are you the right size? There we go. So this is one of those Chinese import vices. This is the soft jaw version. I don't think you can actually buy soft jaws for these. So a while ago, I made a whole bunch of them. I think I made like 20 pairs or something like that. It was an entire 12-foot bar, and these jaws are only 4 inches long. So whatever that works out to be. But I've just kind of been working my way through those. I get a lot of parts out of them. If you look at this one, I've made 3 different parts on this side here, and it looks like 2 different parts on the other side. You get to use both sides. So I use this thing for soft jaws whenever I can. It's not quite as good as the Flux Vise, but jaws are cheaper. So 3D print some soft jaws. That is something that I have been meaning to play more with. I did play a little bit with 3D printing fixturing on the knife project. I need to blow my nose again, guys. Hold on. Oh my gosh, this is so messy. This is why I use Air Blast. I did use 3D printed work holding on the knife, but it was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. Hold on. I'm working to find a way to automate as much as the stuff as I can. I actually probably should spend some time working on that today too. but hold on. Well, I can still talk. You guys just can't hear me. So I'm working to automate as much stuff as I possibly can. And one of the things I need to figure out automating is work holding. If I could just like remove all decision making with work holding, that would be super, super nice for, I'm just putting these soft jaws back on. That would be super nice for automation. Because work holding for, like, I don't want to automate the same part over and over again. I want to automate, job shop work. I want to automate onesie twosies. And that becomes a lot more difficult from a cost perspective. Because like, if I had to set up a robot to, every single time that I want to make one part, that obviously isn't going to work. So I need to figure out how to find systems that are, universal between a whole bunch of parts. And I need work holding that's universal between a whole bunch of parts. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going down the Aroa route, because you can get a lot of Aroa knockoff stuff for pretty cheap, like a lot of these vices or whatever. Which is great for op 1, but then how do you do op 2? Am I going to have it automatically make the soft jaws for me? I could, but that's a whole nother step of automation. But what if I like just in Fusion design the soft jaws and hit print, and then just throw them into the right vise before I run the part? That would be ideal. But I mean, as you guys are talking about there, yeah, I need like engineering materials more than just PLA. There's ABS, there's ASA, there's more of the fancy engineering materials. There's the carbon reinforced stuff. There's SLS prints, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if I could find a way to just print the soft jaws and never have to worry about machining them, it would save me a lot of effort. But that's like a lot of development that I haven't really done yet. So it'll just take time. I was planning on recording a video about my plans for 2025 today, and I'm going to talk about that. All right, so this is now my super glue palette. Instead of making something custom or just like facing off a piece of material, I'm just going to use soft jaws. I'm going to remove maybe like 5 thou at most off of this, and so they'll still be useful as soft jaws. Prusament's polycarbonate blend with carbon fiber is really nice. It's strong and temperature resistant and moisture resistant. It doesn't require an enclosure. I don't know, I would try it. I need to upgrade my printer. I have a Prusa Mini, which I love, like it's a great printer, but there's a lot of better options on the market at this point, particularly in terms of speed. I was eyeballing that Prusa 1 or whatever it's called, their bamboo competitor. And of course, Bamboo is the other printer I was looking at. Right now I'm leaning towards the Prusa printer just because I like the company better, but it also costs money. And like I said, right now I have none of that. So it'll be later. Look into the QD+4. Sure, I'll look at it. I have a hard time looking at companies other than Prusa and Bamboo at this point. All right, I need to use the air blast again. Sorry, sometimes there's just not a simpler way to clean off a fixture. Man, I'm making a mess because I'm not using the air blast. So on these, it has these 4 little feet plus a pole stud. The 4 little feet need to be clean. I suppose the pole stud needs to be clean too. And then the pads that the 4 little feet rest on need to be clean. Which sounds like a lot, but considering it's like opposed to cleaning an entire big flat surface, it's actually pretty nice. And then it's just one little whoop, and that vise is locked in there and tightened and good to go. I haven't gotten around to standardizing my work coordinate systems yet, but I was just using the same vise on here, so it should already be set. The Aroa base is super, super repeatable. So once I get into the habit of like having standardized work coordinate systems for everything and programming off the right points and et cetera, I shouldn't have to really ever worry about probing this stuff in. I will need to do the Z height, I suppose, which we can do here. I think you guys can maybe see. So I'm gonna go into conversational, spindle probe Z height, work offset 1, put it in the MDI, 5% rapid, go. Doors open. No, it's not. Look. And now it's going to do that tool change. Whatever chips I was making on that last part were sharp. And here's the probe. Now, the stack height of this Aroa system is real on this machine. This machine is so short. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I wasn't doing that. This machine is so short, like there's not a lot of Z travel, and the probe is pretty long, and like the stack height here is pretty long. So you have to be careful. Fortunately, it does just barely clear with the Chinese stuff. But it would be nice if that was a little bit lower profile. All right, probe that, please. All right, so that's our Z height. And just to be safe, because of that height issue I've been talking about, let's go off to the side and switch to a different tool. No accidental collisions. Man, my machine is dirty, guys, isn't it? Air blast isn't that bad and you're on headphones? Okay. Maybe my microphone is doing some leveling and blocking it out. But we'll try not to subject you guys to that too much. All right, so now we need to face off this to make sure that it's dead level. And then we'll clean it, and then we will cut our parts. Also, the Tormach's waiting for us, and my voice is getting tired. Do I finish the parts on the stream? Or do I call it a day? It has been 2 hours, and I'm not that exciting. Well, let's go see what the Tormach did first. Remember last time it hit a chip or something in that hole, and it probed way off center? Let's make sure it didn't do that again. So... wow, that was still really bad. Why is it so bad? New spindle in the office mill? No. If you weren't here earlier, I was saying, like, basically I did one big thing in December that gave me money. And why is that so bad? I did one big thing in December that gave me money. Oh, you can load these backwards. They're not symmetrical. That's what's happening to them. I should think about that. I did like one big thing in December for money, and because I took a lot of time off and then I got sick. Yeah, I'm making soft jaws twin staged. I'm making soft jaws. Hold on. All right, hold on. How are we supposed to load these soft jaws? I did this program like months ago. So I can spell soft. Soft jaw. I did this program with like months ago, and I totally forgot that they weren't symmetrical. Because I did not do the slots like I think it was Dylan recommended. Okay, so opt to the which way is the short way? 0.678 that way. Okay, so the long ways is facing me. The shorter way is the top. Do you know what's funny? I vaguely remember doing this exact same thing last time. Okay. Yeah, let's see how many soft jaws AJ can screw up live on stream. Let's get my, go back in there, knife. My deburring tool. Okay. Now, which way was the long way? 7-1 and 7-9. Wait, right? Okay, so that's the short way. That's facing, that should be going away from me. If this one doesn't work, I'm going to be a little bit more embarrassed. All right, let's go. Here, do we want to try? This is a pretty short program. Welcome to Bat Camera, guys. Loading the probe. The probe should go in the hole. Focus. The probe should go in the hole. It's going to probe the hole. It's definitely not hitting a chip here. I don't know, it's still looking a little bit off center. Why does that look off center, guys? Focus. All right, I'm gonna stop it and stop the program. All right, so the offset it gave me was that. Remember that. So 603,923. And now I'm gonna run the same thing again and see if that offset moves. It should move by a couple tenths or less. Is it? That should have been on center. Why does that not look on center for that time? What is going on with this program? All right, I'm going to hit stop again. We're going to go back to the offsets. Okay, it did change the offsets. I'm going to try this one more time just to make sure that it's going in the center of the hole this time. Why does that look off center? Maybe that is the way it's programmed. Maybe it's programmed to not lead at the center of the hole? Doesn't make sense though. Why would I do that? I guess it might just be a Fusion default or something. Come on, proby probe. All right, I'm gonna let it run this time. So switching to the 1/2" tool. You can't really tell anything with the 1/2" tool. It's only when it does the deburring with the chamfer tool. And yes, it does start way off to the side. All right, I've made an executive decision. We're just gonna get the soft jaws working well, and then I'm gonna end the stream so I can work on my customer parts, with focus. Can I make it focus on the part? There we go. Should just face it off. What's our spindle load at? I don't know, 50, 60, something like that. All right, so we should just face this off and then come back and do our deburring. If you want to look at the other ones, there's the one I loaded upside down. But it does also seem to be a little bit to the side for some reason. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe there is something wrong with the probing up. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I could just probe it once and use a work stop, I know. Can we focus on the part, please? focus. Part. Focus on our part. Okay. So if this one doesn't work, then I've done something else wrong. The probe should be freshly calibrated, so I don't think that is the problem, unless my fresh calibration freshly made it off. If this doesn't work, we'll go check fusion. We'll know it works if it takes an even amount off both sides. Well, all four sides. I did deburr the hole this time. This is the world's longest and slowest Z-plunge. See, that seems like it's taken off too much. That also seems like it's taken off too much. And that's not taking off anything. What is going on? I have one theory. That sounds about right. The holes are the easiest way to tell, because you're basically lining up bullseyes. I have a theory. Yeah, see, that's way off. Yeah, my datum is the hole. All right, that didn't quite go right. Let's see. Yeah, still way off in both directions there. You can see where it, well, I can see where it, I don't know, it's in a decent amount. I have a theory. Can we go back to this mode? Okay. Let's, okay, there goes my theory. It is using the right probe and everything. Interesting. That does look fine. Work coordinate system is at the bottom center of that hole. Well, I can check the calibration of the probe, I suppose. Something is definitely not right, though. Work coordinate system 1, which is G54. It's what we're using. Probe in the sidewall there. Circular hole. Approach of 0.1 inch. Let's make that a little bit smaller and see if that changes anything. 6mm probe tip. Should be fine. All right, I'm not seeing anything obvious in cam. There was one time where I accidentally was using the probe geometry function instead of the probing work coordinate system function. And I was hoping that's what did it. But I don't see anything obvious here. I don't see anything obvious there. What else could we be looking at? Let's check the probe runout, I suppose. I literally just did this the other day, though, so I don't know what's going on. I'm going to lie to the machine and tell it that it's door open. Sweep your probe tip? Yeah. Maybe I screwed something up when I did this the other day. Can you kind of see there? Should we build you up on more soft jaws? Did I just touch the camera lens directly? Yeah, check my work coordinate system. Circular bore. kind of want to repost the code. Well, that wouldn't help because I did just post the code this morning. All right, let's go to tool 99, which is the probe. Let me check the state of the taper. A little bit coolant on it, but it's fine. No chips. All right. I'm going to start with just their like automated routine. So they have this fancy tool in the probe setup where you can just press this button, and if you have a surface straight in Y, it will boop it and then rotate and then boop it and then rotate and then boop it and give you what it thinks the concentricity is. Just press cycle start. Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out where my error is coming from. So it thinks that its run out is good. Is its run out actually good? Well, okay, we would be able to visually see, this one is locked. We would be able to see the run out if it's as bad as we're getting here. But I don't see any. Stop moving. Stop moving. I need a higher quality indicator stand. I've had this thing for years, and it was not nice when it was brand new. All right, let's see. I'm too chicken to turn the spindle on with the probe in it. I know that'd be a little bit better. No, it's fine. There's maybe 0.2 of run out, and it should compensate for it programmatically. So that's not it. It's got to be the code, right? Because I don't think I did anything else wrong when setting it up. So diameter to probe, diameter to position. All right, I'm gonna delete that probing. Did I drill the hole in the correct position? Yeah, it was bored. So it's not like the drill could have wandered. Was there anything else that would have screwed that up? No, I can't think so. It was all done in the same op. Let's repost the code. I feel like let's remake that probing operation. I feel like I had issues with this probing operation last time around, and maybe the same mistake has persisted. Is the job backwards and not symmetrical? Yes, we made that mistake the first time, but we have since fixed that. Let me actually double check. Yeah, okay, left or right, it's symmetrical. Forwards and backwards, it's not quite symmetrical. If I'm using G55, make sure it's S2. The Tormach probing macros work a little bit different, but yes, it's the right, the work coordinate system. All right, this is a great view. A+ stream here. So I'm just gonna delete that and do a new probing operation. Probe WCS, click that. Approach is, I don't know, 0.0 or 0.1 should be fine. With 1 decimal point, not 2. We're not overwriting the work coordinate system. We're not printing any results. Okay. Let's go just to be sure, choose the most updated version of this probe and put that back at the beginning. This shouldn't theoretically cause any issue or cause any changes. Where's my thumb drive? I don't have the machine networked yet. Here's my thumb drive. This shouldn't theoretically change anything. This should leave everything the same. I'm just troubleshooting one thing at a time because you never know until you, like, you can't depend on something not being the problem until you eliminate it independently. So if this doesn't eliminate anything, then we should be good. We can look at this code. It looks the same to me. It looks the same to me. But we can test it. So if we, let's see, if we probe the exact same hole with the exact same code, it should work exactly the same, right? And not move at all? If it does move, that'll tell us something. So copy over the new program. Oh, interesting. This post is still having issues. Okay, wait, we need to go back in. Back in. There's a bug in the Tormach post that for some reason it's not providing the, or it's not posting one of the lines that it needs to post. So you have to like manually put it in, which I just removed because I thought they had fixed it. But apparently they have not. Gives you a lot of confidence in the post, doesn't it? Okay. I mean, it should be fine. It should be fine. And actually about things being symmetrical or not, if it was a non-symmetricalness issue, the hole that we're probing in should still be fine because that's the 0 point. And if things aren't symmetrical, the hole will still be the same. All right. Let's, I guess, just hit go and see what happens. There is still something weird happening because it should look like it's going into the center of the hole every time. And visually, it does not look like it's going to the center of the hole. So why would it do that? Why would it be off center? Unless there is something wrong with the probing macros. Oh, wait, stop. Oh, now I've done it. I hit stop in the middle of a tool change with the probe. I've done this to myself. I think we can save this. Okay, hold on. So I'm going to tell it that the door's open. ATC, are you unclamped? Now it's unclamped. And now go up, please. It is going up. It's just taking very small steps. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong at all. This wasn't my fault. It was totally my fault. ATC retract tray. Okay, now the only problem is it thinks it has tool 99 in the spindle. Oh, okay, so I just tell it, no, you don't have tool 99 in the spindle. And then I tell it tool 99 is in the tray. See, nothing's wrong, we're fine. I know what I'm doing, I'm not dumb. Okay, so how did I get myself into that mess? Let's go back to tool 99. which is the probe. Don't pause machines in the middle of tool changes is the lesson there. All right, so before I paused it, before I stopped it, it just probed that hole. So if we look at our work coordinate system and probe it again, that should tell us something. So, okay, the thing's in the hole, and I can go to the probing menu, and I can say, only display the results and find the center of the hole. So it's not going to update my work coordinate system. It's just going to measure the relative position from where the work coordinate system should be to where it is now. And theoretically, that should be 0, right? Unless there's something wrong with the probing macros, that would be wild. Because the probe itself is working. Okay, it told me the size, not the location. Why? Interesting. It told me the width. It says the width is 48 thousandths, and that should be 1/2 inch. The height, it says, is 1/2 inch. Did I? Maybe I did screw that one up. Hold on. Because this one did get pretty mauled up by the chamfer tool. Let's put a new one in. I can fix all these ones on a belt grinder. It's fine. But that hole position and size should be pretty accurate. All right, brand new one. Let's deburr the hole. Hole is deburred. Let's measure the hole. This isn't a good way to measure holes, but it's close. All right, 0.503. 0.503. Okay. So it should be measuring just a little bit over 1/2 inch. Tighten the vise. Let's go back in the hole. I did not check to see if the right way was facing the right way. But let's just see what it says size-wise. So if we find center, it's not actually probing yet. It's just measuring the hole. But this should be about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch on the probing results. What would cause it to read non-round? Okay, this time it worked. 0.055 by 0.055, which might actually be more accurate than what I measured with calipers, because that's not really how you measure holes. Okay, so that's good. Let's take it to actual. So now we're actually setting the work coordinate system. And then we can try running the part again. What else am I missing here, guys? Because the probe seems good. The program seems good. It could be the macros. Is there a bug in the macros? That sounds like the last thing I should be blaming, though. That's... No, I mean, this is a new machine and stuff happens. All right, so this is the longer side. Was the longer side towards me? I think the longer side was towards me. Oh no, I cleaned the wrong hole. Okay. So Okay, actually here, let's do this. So I'm gonna probe this hole again now that I've moved the part. I'm gonna set my work coordinate system, and then I'm gonna skip the probing in the program. That way we can verify that the program itself is good without the probing. That'll tell us something. So if this part comes out good, then we know the problem is somewhere with the probing, which I certainly hope it is. Oh, I thought it was done. All right. Come out. All right. Probe, go to the ATC just to make sure nothing dumb happens. Now let's run this program starting from the facing operation. Sometimes Tormachs don't like resuming after a probing operation. It's kind of annoying, but hopefully it does it this time. Nope. I need to talk to Tormach about that. That's a bug they need to fix. When it does when you restart in the middle of the program, it runs through and runs all the program calculations, or like the M code calls and everything like that. I need my thumb drive. But for some reason, when it runs those, it tries to like simulate the probing move, except it knows that it's not moving, and so it throws a bug when you try to restart a program that has a probing move. So, all right, let me just quickly post a new version of this code with the probing operation suppressed. So I'm just going to call this one softjaw no probe. And we can try this again. Now, if this works, it tells us there's something wrong with the probing operation. I haven't done a lot of probing on this machine. I did a lot on my 1500 or my 1100, but I was using it. Oh, I could try a different post too. I could try the zoom speed post. I think it would be fine with the 1500. All right, so no probe version. Really, there's a lead-in error now. What do you do in Fusion Post? Huh. Why is there a lead-in error? Okay, back to the computer. It's so odd. It's so odd. Oh man, I didn't see any of the chat messages. I'm sorry, guys. I left my phone around. Or I left my phone laying down somewhere, and apparently it just doesn't show me chat messages. Yeah, Lunchman84, you get to see the ATC recovery after I did a dumb thing. Haas has a good recovery tool. I don't, at least my other one does. Maybe it's different with the other type of tool changer. The Tormach doesn't really have a tool change recovery tool when you screw that up, but you get the control of all of the different aspects. So like you can just do it yourself. This is an op2 flip for the part. Yes. Does it sit on a stop? No, I'm just probing everything. I did program it from the center of the hole. High blue close precision. 20 degrees and snowing there. It's cold, but not snowing here yet. Are the wrong part outer dimensions? It shouldn't be. It's all generated from the same Fusion file. Tribulation error? Trilo. Is that when a hole becomes a triangle instead of a circle? How did I set the work coordinate system in Fusion? I just clicked it. That's the terrible answer. I went to the work coordinate system origin, and I used the selected point option and chose edge. And for edge, I chose the hole. but that shouldn't matter here. All right, what was I doing? It had a lead-in error. Lead-in error, or, well, I had the beginning of the arc doesn't match the end of the arc, which is almost always a lead-in with a radius that's too small. I haven't seen that before, and I don't know why it's showing up now. Okay, now it has big lead-in radius. Let's fix that slow plunge on the chamfer tool as well. Yeah, it plunges at 3 inches a minute and cuts at 40. That's why that feels slow. Okay, that's fixed now. Do I have my thumb drive? I have my thumb drive. There's the no probing version of it posted, and I'm going to unsuppress the probing version and post that as well. I didn't generate that toolpath. Oh, there's more comments. Lunchman, you got a servo alarm on a Akuma mid tool change. Yeah, they don't make it easy on most machines to get out of those errors. Some of those other controllers are very non-intuitive. Lathan Mill says it's always the simple things, check part direction. I did that though. What we're doing now is, why does everyone say hi to Blue Coast Precision? Does everybody know you? Should I know you, Blue Coast Precision? All right, so what we're doing now is we're getting rid of the probing as part of the process. So if this works, it means there's something wrong with our probing. Okay, so this, okay, that weird lead-in error is gone. My lead-in was just too small. Should work, same work coordinate system. If this works, then we know it's the probing. If it doesn't work, then we know it's something wrong with the setup or the programming. At this point, both are equally likely. Streaming your Vicen. Glad you're streaming to have a good listen. I'm glad I can be entertaining, Dylan. Haha, Micro, read the chat. Did he just say hi? Is he just greeting everybody? I don't know. Anyway. What else could we have wrong? I mean, if it was a different machine, you could say it's losing steps, but this is servo driven, so it would just alarm out. The part's not moving, that would be visible in the vice. Something dumb with the programming that I'm missing is possible. Something dumb that I'm doing is possible. I don't think there can be anything wrong with the chamfer tool. The chamfer tool is going to chamfer. If something's wrong with the chamfer tool program, hi car guy. If something's wrong with the chamfer tool program, this will tell us now. I really don't want to jump to conclusions and say it's the probing macros. That's the only thing that makes sense in my head right now. But this test will tell us. We don't need to guess. We can do this scientifically. Figure things out one step at a time. Or eliminate potential problems one step at a time, I should be saying. All right, we're doing the tool change. Tool length of nothing should matter here. If my tool lengths are off, it would just make the thickness wrong. Okay, so that's cut in on one side. It sounds the same as it goes to the other side. And the same on, it sounds the same all the way around. What if I remove the top half and probe the outer walls instead of the bore? I can. I don't know why that would work better than this, but I can absolutely do it. It would use a different macro. Check your offset, something that has too much comp. There's no comp. I'm not using any comp here except for length offsets, obviously. Is the chamfer model? No. It's perfect. Interesting. Why is this one perfect? Okay, so the no probing one, when I don't probe from Fusion and I probe manually, it's perfect. All of my, it's kind of hard to see, but all of my chamfers are even around and I'm dripping in my drawer. Okay, now, exact same setup. Let me make sure that I put this thing in there right side forwards. That's the long side, that's the short side. Long side towards me. Oh, and deburr the hole. I can send this to Tormach and be like, hey, what am I doing wrong here? Is Fusion doing something wrong? Is it your macros? Is it some specific combination of factors that are causing issues? You know, I would love to say this is Fusion's fault. I have done this a million times on Fusion. I think it actually might be a macro on the machine. It might be the bore probe macro on the machine. That's my current theory. All right, so let's put the new version of the soft jaw op 2 with probing. Okay, so this should probe. This will probe that hole and then machine the outside. I did repost it, Ice Punk method, Ice Pick method. Is that a Jimmy DiResta reference? So if this doesn't work, then it is something wrong with the macros, or I suppose the macro that is being spat out by Fusion. And that I will just tell Tormach and they can fix it. Lone Wolf Precision, you've seen Fusion do weird stuff with selecting the center of a hole. I mean, maybe it could be. It's a lobotomy reference, okay. Jimmy DiResta's into ice picks. That's a thing. I'm not just making that up. I wonder if there's a Pathpilot update I could do. Fusion is cheap compared to others, but they do keep raising the price. But it's just spitting out the macro call, and then the macro that it's calling is on here. We could pull it up if we wanted to. Then we might have to put the machine in like the Linux CNC mode. So what does it mean if this one works? If this one works, then I guess it could mean that reposting the code fixed something, or maybe we just got lucky and the offset position was close enough that it was fine. Like if I just happened to get the new jaw in exactly the same place, but we shall see. And if it's wrong, it means there's something weird going on with the probing. Can I show you the probing screen? Sure. Let me wait until this is done running. It's not like a Rendeshaw macro call though. It doesn't even have all, like in a Rendeshaw macro, you have like all of the things in line with it. With this, it's all done with parameters right above it. What origin point does the use to probe from? It's using G54 to drive probing of G54. So my G54 is floating a little bit. which is something I do all the time and is fine. I don't need to be probing for Y. I am just because it was easy to select the bore. Hey, this one sounds centered. Yeah, this one's fine. It sounds centered. The tool pressure was the same all the way around. But I could have gotten lucky with where I put the part down. So what happens if I deliberately shift the part to the side like 50 thou? If it was literally just I needed to repost the code, I'm going to be so angry. Yeah, because this one's totally fine. Reposting code should never fix problems, and it's always very annoying when it does. All right, so that's the long side. That faces me. All right, so I'm intentionally offsetting it, I don't know, 50 thou. Maybe 100 thou. I don't know. It's a noticeable amount of thou. Oh, wait, deburr the hole, deburr the hole. So if this doesn't work, it means that the probing macro, the probing routine is not moving the work coordinate system or not moving it properly. If it does work, it means that reposting the code is all we had to do. I hope I didn't move that too much. It should still clear. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So now we just have to run one more and find out which it is. What else could it be? I think that's it. I think we've eliminated everything else. If this works, then it was reposting the code. If it doesn't work, then it's a probing macro issue. Or a macro call issue, I suppose. Oh, I meant to show you the macro call. My bad. We can tell if it's a macro issue. I know. Here, fine. This will run by itself. I'm going to go show you on the computer. We can diagnose if it's an issue with the macro, because if this does not work after moving the part, then we can post it with a different macro. And if that macro does work, that means it's an issue with the bore macro. All right, let me repost this quick. It's upset because my thumb drive is not in there. Let's just put it in downloads. It's not rent-a-shop macros, guys, but that's what the macro looks like. If I can hold my thing. So, it's like trying to be super contrasting. Yeah, this is great. Great here. I'm going to make you guys motion sick. And it's hard to read. How about that? So you give it a rough feed twice, apparently. Oh, it's a G1 that's using the rough feed twice. The Z clearance position is 0. Diameter probe, 0.7849. That's kind of a weird number. Diameter to position, 0.2849. XY, work coordinate offset 0. And then we're measuring work coordinate system 1, which is G54. And then there is our bore call. And again, it's okay. So G54, XY 0, G0, X0, Y0. So it's going to that home position, that bore. Then it feeds down into it, and then it sets a bunch of parameters. And the diameter to position is an interesting variable there. But then it's changing work coordinate system 1, and then it calls it, and then it does the thing, and then retracts. The diameter to probe and the diameter to position is probably how it's setting the travel limits. So it's saying start at 0.2849 and go to 0.784 from the center. Okay, look, it's done. I don't know. There's nothing obviously wrong in that for me. It's in the right work coordinate system. It's trying to probe the correct 0 point. Ha! It didn't change the work coordinate system. It's off in that one direction that I shifted it. The macro doesn't work. It's not updating the work coordinate system. See, so I moved it like 100 thou in this direction, and it is off like right here by about 100 thou, or 50 thou or whatever. I don't know, that much. So when it probed, it didn't change at least the X position of the part. Why is it doing that? It shouldn't be doing that. If we, let's tell it that the door is closed. Yeah, this is set to set origin. Interesting. Okay. So let's try probing it differently. This time we'll remove the hat and then come in and probe it from the side. And we only really do need to probe an X. The Y isn't changing because it's fixed by the fixed jaw. But I think we found a bug report for Tormach. So yeah, because this is just not changing the work coordinate system. All right, so let's change this exact probing macro. Instead of probing face, we're going to probe on this finished wall here. So it should be a very, very similar toolpath coming out of Fusion, but it's going to call a different macro on the controller. And there we go. If this, I forgot my thumb drive and I just posted that to my desktop, please hold. But if this works, then it means there's a problem with the bore macro. And then I need to yell at Norman. It is possible that I just need to update my controller as well. All right, so let's post this. I'm also going to tighten up that facing toolpath just a little bit. It doesn't need a full pass that's off the side of the part. So that'll save us a couple seconds. I probably just changed 2 variables at the same time there. Is it possible you put it in the wrong way the first time? Yes, the first time I did put the part in backwards, but now we know that there's something wrong with the probing macro. We've tested every single other variable. If we probe manually before running the program, it works just fine. So we know that the code and the setup is good other than that probing macro. We've isolated the probing macro as the problem. So if we use a different probing macro, then we know that it's a problem specifically with the bore probe. Well, if we use a different probing macro and it works, then we know it's a problem specifically with the bore probe. If we use that different probing macro and it doesn't work still, then that means it's a problem with probing in general, I suppose. Maybe a problem with their post or a problem with all their macros. Or a problem with my machine specifically. I don't know. Did I move it after facing when I posted it? I don't think I did. I think I need to go repost that again because I got too excited. I didn't even put it in the right place. Okay. I failed to post code to my thumb drive completely. So it's okay that I made a mistake because I did it wrong anyway. Okay, so now it's going to face, probe, chamfer. So now let's post this not to my downloads folder, but to my thumb drive. I really need to get this machine networked. I tried for like 2 minutes and it didn't work and I gave up, but having machines networked saves so much time. I've just been lazy and not getting that hooked up. All right. So new code. Opt2 no Proby, or no Opt2 with Proby. Okay, so now it's gonna face and then probe. And if this works, it's a problem with the bore probing macro. I'm very curious. I know the guy who wrote these macros, so I can call him up and be like, hey, you need to fix something. Are the 40 of you guys watching this enjoying it? I hope so. This is not what I should be doing. Troubleshooting soft jaws is not how you make money. I need to be running that customer part over there, but I'm also having fun doing this. I'm gonna get water. Here, watch my machine for me. Where did I leave my water bottle? Or my water cup? Where did I leave my cup? There it is. Someone joined just to see me take that drink. So for those of you that are just getting here, how do I pin my chat? I don't know why my chat keeps running away from me. For those of you that are just getting here, we're making soft jaws, except there's some weird probing stuff happening. I've seen override stop setting the work system after the first part. Never used, yeah. PathPilot normally works pretty flawlessly. All right, we're about to do the probing. PathPilot normally works pretty good, but I know these are new macros for this machine. That doesn't look like it's in the right place. That's not in the right place. It didn't have enough travel room. It's like right over the side because we did that part earlier where I shifted it over and I didn't give it enough like lead-in space. So we're gonna have to stop this. Let's jog safely out of there. Curious what the probe to position call is with the, I think it's from the center of the hole to the outside. I bet if you take that 0.2849 and add either 6 millimeters or half a 6 millimeters, you end up with about a half an inch. Dylan, your lathe is doing well. What's RPC? Rotational point control. All right, let's go fix my probe call. Hi, green button pusher. Yeah, what's RPC? I don't know what that is, Dylan. All right, let's try this one more time. So there is a parameter for approach. I had the approach set at 100 thou, which is not nearly enough considering I gave it like 1/8 of an inch of error. So let's give it 0.4 inches is the normal, I think, the default. And we will repost this. And try this again. I should be able to just rerun the probing routine. Like I said, PathPilot has issues restarting code that has probing in it, but since we're starting after the probing, it should be fine. Overwrite that, reload the program. Let's go find the probing op. Oop. Restart with no preparation, velocity down, hit go. Okay, this time the probing it's like in the right place. It may have hit that burr, I'm not sure. Even if it did hit the burr, it'll still be pretty close. All right, now we're about to run that chamfer and finally find out. Cutting the top. Okay, the side sounds good. Rotary phase converter, okay. Can I show you the probing and fusion? Sure. I think this did it though. Well, give me a second here. All right, let's look at this part. Look at this part. I'm so excited. It's not every day you find a controller bug. It's perfect. Yep, all those chamfers are perfect. If it hadn't updated the work coordinate system, those would have been an 1/8 inch off. So there is a problem with the macro on this machine for probing a bore. It doesn't update the work coordinate system, or it doesn't do it right. I'm telling Norman. Okay, well, that answers that question. I was so confused. You never blame the macros. It's always something else. But it's the macros. Oh yeah, it's doing the face first. Okay. The TC on the Tormach seems low. It looks like it has a bit of a Z left. What's the TC? I'm not sure what that means. The TC on the Tormach seems low. Oh, the tool setter? Or the tool changer? Yes, I agree. I wish it was higher because it has an extra several inches of travel, but you kind of lose that travel with the tool change. I'm not sure if there's a reason why, but I agree. As to having a lean, it shouldn't. I did level that when I installed it, but I probably should recheck it because I have had those move in the past for me. So, well, that's working now. That is so weird. It was a macro on the controller. I wonder if I can get to those macros. I wonder if it's like a wrong encode call or missing the like update math. I don't know. I'm pretty familiar with the Renishaw macros. I'm not so familiar with the Tormach macros. All right. Any last questions here? I think that's going to do us for today. I've only been live for 3 hours when I didn't plan on doing this for 3 hours. So, Sam asks, is there a machine update available? I think it would tell me. Maybe it only tells you when you boot it up, and I haven't turned off the machine for several days. It'd be hard to tell now, but it might have been, I set them in the vice backwards, and then it only wrote the, yeah, maybe it's something weird like that. And yes, it could have more clearance for taller tools. It has it if you manually load the tools. You get an extra 4 inches or something like that. But for some reason, the tool change position is rather far down. I don't know. Again, I don't know why they chose to do that. I don't know if there is a mechanical reason on the machine, or if there was like something else, or maybe just something they inherited from the last design revision. I don't know. But I think I'm gonna say bye. Bye, everybody. I don't know how to leave. Hello, wife.